Hello and good day, y'all. Strat and Tele here, coming at you guys from the Wicked Willow recording studio. Something a bit different today. We're out here at the Dragonfly Lounge. We got all the tools out, and we got us a 2-for-1. So let's see what we got under here. Oh yeah, 2-for-1 Leo Jaymz guitar kit. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers on YouTube put these bad boys together, and looks like too much fun. So here we got us the Strat, poplar body, super light. The neck, pretty good. It's gonna need a little smoothing off on the frets. And then here you can see this Tele's a left-handed. I'll be building this one for my son who plays left-handed. And this body here it's got some weight. This is mahogany and this is popular. And if I'm happy with the way this turns out, I definitely want to build a Tele for myself, just because the old 73 Tele on the wall, still getting some use, but she's got some issues. So they both come with everything you possibly need. I could just throw these together right now with everything that's in the package and be up and ripping probably in an hour. But I want to do some customization. You can see the headstocks here give you a bit of room to play, so I'm going to customize a nice unique headstock and then have some color with some staining, and obviously polish them up in the end with a little polyurethane. So I got 2 cans of that. Got everything I need here to basically get me going. So I'm going to start with my headstock situation there, and yeah, so I want to give a big shout out to some of these YouTubers who inspired me there. We got Scar My Guitar, awesome. This guy builds guitars from scratches and also has funds with trying to turn in some of these kit projects into something decent. And I've heard some amazing tones. Another cool guy I've been following is Uncle Punk Guitars, the Bald Shredder, and a couple other guys I just, without even looking, I didn't have the time to remember all you guys, but quite a few guys, and some of these guys were getting phenomenal tones. So that's what's up there. And then just on a side note, over here we got, which will eventually be Guitar 3. I scored some real nice quilted top on a company in northern British Columbia, Canada, and got some nice body wood, and that's going to be turned into a 12-string. I have a neck from this old acoustic 12-string, and we'll be working with a local luthier. And I said, hey dude, I got this old neck, do you think you can help me turn this into something? He's got a CNC machine he's setting up right now, so that should be some super fun. We have to carve out any shape and do all the routing and with automation and save a bunch of time. We'll have to create something real cool, but that's a whole other video, whole other topic. Right now we're diving into these 2 guitars, and we'll be working on them simultaneously, and we'll keep you posted on our progress. Rock on. Alright, day 2, here's a little neck update. Got both my headstocks cut in and all the frets on each neck sanded off, so we got no barbs whatsoever. And I use this sanding block that has a lot of play, and it worked like a charm. And I haven't really done the top, but I will once I got the neck set up and see if we do need to adjust any of the fret heights on any of those. Yeah, so I went with Strat style headstock on the Tele neck here, and we're going to be calling this one the AK Shred Tele Crusher. And then over here I went with something a little bit more unique. I'm trying to cut an actual guitar into the headstock, and this is going to be called the Strat and Tele Strato Blaster. And I'm going to stain this one red, this one blue to follow suit. And then I might just leave them raw. I do like that feel of the raw. The polyurethane, sometimes you get a bit of stickiness once you start sweating. So I'm going to leave them raw for now, and it's easy enough to always pop them off and throw a coat on or 2 or 3 later. But yeah, there's my update on the necks. I'm going to get out the wood burner and burn in my logos and artwork on the headstocks before I dye them blue. Tank, what's going on? We got both the puppers in here today. Naya over there, and again, another beautiful day. I was just giving her a bit of a sanding as there was some sort of finish on there. So before we fire up the flamethrower and burn her, I want to just take a bit of that off. Alright, so I got it sanded down now, and I've decided to go flame top. Not your typical flame top, but we'll just call this scorched earth flame top here. And I'm gonna toast her up. I've seen people do all kinds of different unique things this way. Just enough to kind of give that look and vibe. You gotta think the pick card's gonna cover all that. So let that cool, and then we'll check the back. Alright, let's throw some flame at the Strat here. I have a feeling this is gonna ignite a bit quicker and burn a bit quicker than the mahogany. Strat dyed up. Ended up going with good old food coloring. The can of colored tint I bought was way too orangey, kind of pukey looking color. So I'm going to do the same with this, except we're going to go blue. And I might give her one more coat tomorrow because it is just soaking it up pretty good. I don't know if you can get a good look at what I'm seeing, but I'm sure once I put some polyurethane on that, it's going to make it pop. And the back's pretty sweet too. Just a slight little bit of burn coming through. And so we'll go grab the blue and blue up the tele. Alright. Blue left-handed tele. Turned out pretty sweet. We'll see in the morning if it needs another coat and go from there. Happy building. Alright, here we go. The second coat of polyurethane just went on. I added another coating of blue dye to the tele this morning, but I left the red Strat as is. As you can see, there's lots of charcoal remnants cutting through. And just after adding the second coat, it's really starting to bring things to life on both. The tele definitely churned out dynamite. As you can see, I left the sides as was, so that's making that look really sharp. Definitely gonna order myself a tele here probably in the next few days. And yeah, so we're gonna let that dry for a few hours and maybe give it a fine coat sanding tomorrow, maybe third coat, and then sand the third coat and put on the final coat in a day or two. Alright, for a quick update here at the end of day 2, I say it was a success. I got both headstocks carved out and branded using my soldering iron as a wood burner. We got the Shred-A-Ma Straddle Blaster here. And I've also got 3 good coats of polyurethane on both bodies and 2 good coats on each headstock here. And over here we got the AK Shred Tele Crusher. And I'm really blown away by how nice this one turned out. Just so much depth, and maybe I overcooked a little bit with the flamage, but it just gives it so much more character. And yeah, so anyone wants to knock food coloring, and you can see the sides here where I left just the mahogany to shine, that turned out even sweeter. But yeah, anyone who wants to knock using food coloring as your dye source, I'm surprised myself. Trust me, I was just gambling going in. Like I said, the dye I bought here for $10, It was supposed to be transparent, but it wasn't really letting much grain shine through on the test board I used it on, so I made the choice to go with food coloring, kind of a last minute thing, and sent the wife to the grocery store and she grabbed me a couple different colors to play with, and both of them I'm really impressed with. And on the back here you can see the charcoal kind of coming through nicely, not too much, just enough. And yeah, I cannot wait to get these bad boys wired up and take them for a rip. And yeah, I am hooked, man. This is way too much fun. Alright, so here we are, about 3 days since my last video update, and just want to basically do a quick overview and my final thoughts. So I got both guitars completely assembled, put together, up and rocking, and I'm super happy. They both turned out super unique and pretty decent. You can see my burn came through a little bit more in spots than other spots. So with this guy here, I just left the 3 coats of polyurethane on that I had from the first day and gave it a sanding and started working on this from that point on. This guy here, I let him sit for 2 days after those 3 coats, and then gave him a good sanding. I gave him 3 more coats and then sanded that down, and it's just a super nice finish. We'll talk about him in a bit. So basically, super stoked with the tuning pegs. I won't change them. They're not too bad. They've been holding pretty good thus far. I did have to sand the nut down quite a bit, and I lucked out for the Tele here. I had an old bone nut that dropped in there and fit just perfectly from my old Tele that I restored, and I always keep all the old parts lying that I have lying around. And pickups, not too bad. I did find a pickup in my old junk drawer too from a friend of mine who gave me this years ago, probably 25 years ago, Jason Peralta from the early Hemp Dog days there, and plugged it in. Oh, it worked. So I fucking wired her in, and we got this set up now. And yeah, this worked pretty good. I got her locked on the back just with some cardboard because I don't like a lot of play in there, but if I had the bar, I could probably get a little play. And action, I got the action just like beautiful now with the neck perfect, the nut perfect, and then drop these guys down, intonated 100%, which is nice. So it looks good, it feels good. Question is, does it shred? So we're going to take it for a rip here. No, she rips nice. I like the way that she does cry too. Just and I did forget to mention one thing. This is definitely the lightest electric guitar I've ever picked up. I tried finding my old fishing scale just to measure them, but definitely, yeah, she's light, and that's again dealing with the popular body, right? But anyways, yeah, so I'll put this guitar down and we'll grab the Tele. Alright, now my thoughts on the Leo Jaymz Telecaster kit, which we turned into the AK Shred Tele Crusher, as I built this one for my son, who's left-handed. He's right-handed, plays guitar left-handed. I'm left-handed, play guitar right-handed, so I don't know the madness, the chaos behind that, but whatever works, works. But yeah, this one turned out dynamite. And even before, like, putting everything together, I think it was still more even the superior guitar. Like I said, solid mahogany body, really nice chunky neck, not too fat, as you say. I can still get my thumb on there. Unfortunately, I tried doing some licks with it upside down. I just made a fool of myself, so we'll see if I cut them in the final edit or not there, just to let you hear it. But it sounds pretty good. All stock. The only thing I changed, as I mentioned earlier there, found a bone nut from my old Telecaster that slid right in there so perfectly that I could not drop it in, because again, the nut on this one was super high. It looked like identical nut to this one that I sanded down. And again, tuning pegs, solid. So what I ended up doing there with the finish on this one, like I said earlier, we used the blue dye with some flame work before that to burn her up a bit. And I did the 3 coats, let it sit for 2 days, sanded it down really nice, did 3 more coats, let it sit for another day or 2, and then sand her down to the final. And she's super smooth. You can feel a little bit of the wood grain, but I wasn't going to use wood filler or anything like that. I kind of like that rough appeal and the shine. But no, she turned out great. And like I said, I am going to order myself a right-handed Tele, and then maybe shop around for a neck. And I got another old pickup, the actual pickup from my other Tele, not the original one, but a replacement we put in, my dad put in, back late 80s, and which I swapped out when I redid the rebuild or the rewiring and setup on that a few years ago. So I always say keep all those old parts, because you never know when you might find a use for them. But yeah, so there's my breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I've never done nothing like this before. Obviously, I've set up my guitars and played with the wiring of my guitars and messed with pickups over the years, but never anything quite to this extent. And I had a blast. Like, for the price, you can't go wrong. $120, $100, a little bit of food dye, and 2 cans of polyurethane. So I'm still under $300, and I got 2 guitars here. Well, this will be going to my son. Hopefully he's not watching, because I'm hoping to surprise him with it. But great practice, great learning experience, and just fun being creative in a whole other way. And now we got some new tones with this bad boy here to mess with, because I just like always having a variety of guitars on every song to kind of mix things up. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little series I put together. As always, stay creative, keep doing it what it is that you love to do, and don't be afraid to try to experiment with some new things in life, man. Till next time, rock on.